This is the DNA Pest Control Podcast with your hosts, Daniel and Anthony.
All right. You ready to do this?
Yep. Work faster, not harder.
That is the topic today, guys, about working faster, not harder. So we know in this industry, me being an owner, Anthony being a technician, it is crucial to work fast. It is, why kill yourself out there?
Yeah, no, there's no need to burn yourself out. And this is coming from direct experience when, you do have 18, 20 accounts and you're getting higher there and, you mix in a little bit of drive time. You either need to work faster or you're going to be hitting OT and you're going to have a higher up a little angry at you. Why aren't you working faster? And you're just out there either getting burnt out or you feel like your quality of work is sacrificed because you need to keep the pace up. That's what this episode's for, is you don't have to sacrifice any quality of work to achieve working faster and achieve those deadlines that you may see out there in the industry.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to go over those tips and techniques. I was doing it. I ran a route for a couple years, and I was doing 20 plus accounts a day pretty consistently. And so you do learn how to eventually get it in on an owner's perspective, but I eventually learned how to correct some of the dumb things that I was doing out there to essentially make it harder on myself when I was out there working. And eventually, you do get burned out. You go home and you're like, I don't want to get up and do this again. Like I just did 20 accounts, 25 accounts. I'm done doing that.
No, yeah, I hear you.
So Anthony, what are some of the things, let's hit on, what are some of the things that techs do that are harder, that make things a little bit tougher on themselves?
The number one thing, and I'm sure you could agree with this, is when you interact with your client, that is the killer of your time. You could have a full on, you're going to spend a good 15, 20 minutes there, and that's going to do your de-webbing and your spraying. Now, some clients you may end up talking to for 10 minutes, and you're a nice guy, or the client and you're friends with them. And
absolutely.
It's a part of your job to make sure that client is happy. And you talk to them. Now you just killed not only the time at that account, but the time for your next account. So now you've already dug yourself a hole, and all you did was have a casual conversation with someone. And unfortunately, that can dig you a hole in our industry, especially if you have a job that they have high requirements on your speed. So essentially, we've developed ways that you can still have that conversation while not digging yourself a hole, and you could still get out of there within a favorable time to keep your route going.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think the industry has kind of created a time frame in itself. I don't know how much I agree with it, but I think the industry has created a 20 to 25 minute time range for a general service.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, wholeheartedly. I do believe when I was running a full-on route, I was averaging probably 20 minutes a stop. Now, that probably won't, for some of you guys out there, you're probably like, what, 20 minutes? That's impossible, which it probably is if you're working for a different company. And I do know maybe 15 to 20 minutes is probably the mark you want to start hitting.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I can definitely see that. I want to bring it down. I want to break this into a science for these guys. Let's make this from getting out of the truck, walking up to the door, to grabbing the pole, to spraying, filling out the tag. So what are some of the tips and tricks that you do? So right when you get to a home, what do you do when you hop out of the truck?
All right. So now this is for technicians, but if you are an owner operator listening, you might want to tell your technicians this, because this has saved us probably an average of 3-5 minutes a job.
Absolutely.
So right when you're hopping out of that vehicle, you're checking your notes. Is there anything specific the accountant needs to do? You're checking to see what service it is, obviously. Now, here's the key. When you get to the client's door, eliminate the second conversation you have with the client. When you walk up to your client, hey, if they don't answer, there you go. You could get out of there pretty quick. If they answer, here's what we say. Hey, great, I'll get everything done for you. I'll go ahead and leave the tag on the door.
Yeah, and that actually does a huge thing. So if people think, oh, yeah, that's pretty simple, that actually cuts out the second conversation
Oh, yeah.
to where you're not going back up to the door, knocking the door again, ringing the doorbell, getting them back out, talking about what you're seeing. Some people might be a little angry about it and say, no, 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 that's how you get great customer service. But that doesn't mean that you're not.
No, all you do is you just include that second conversation into the first one, and it's the exact same customer service. Now, I'm not trying to brag, but I've developed quite a bit of 5-star reviews. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
And listen, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I am the best technician. But now, with that said, that's all following the working faster, not harder routine of letting the client know at the door. No, hey. Great. I'll get everything done for you. I'll leave the tag on the door. When I'm all finished up, I'll lock the gate, etc. And it's going to go such a long way. And there's two positives to it, really, is that one, yes, you're going to save a few minutes, 5 minutes. Two, you're not going to expose your client to the pesticides again, right? Now that you get a good thorough spray around the front door, last thing you want is for your client to come out and something to drip on them, or from the come and step into the threshold you put down.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've seen that. And I mean, if, another quick tip out there is, some things that I've done is before I taking it back a little bit at the very beginning of my day is what I would do is I'd go through and I would actually put in, because I think Google Maps will allow you to put in 12 or 15 accounts
right,
back to back. And so I would go through my day and I would actually put almost the entire route into Google Maps.
Yep.
And what that would allow me to do is I knew exactly where I was going, when I could stop, am I by a gas station? And so I would do that at the very beginning of the day before I even hopped in my truck so that I was ready to go. I knew what was going to happen. And if I had to switch some appointments around, you might not be allowed to do this. If you are, that's that time that allows you to correct some of the mistakes that someone may have done or may have overlooked while creating that route. But that would just do a little bit more for me. I would go through a couple appointments and I would just catch up on the notes so I knew exactly what I was going to say to those people. So if you're going to the property, just a quick example I want to throw out there is if you go and you knock on the door, they have bait stations to prevent going back to the door saying, oh, I checked your bait stations. Tell them that beforehand. Say, hey, I'm going to go and check your bait stations. So that they know, hey, he's going to do it. Yeah. It's already done. I don't have to talk to him again.
Yep, and then it's going to avoid a call to the office. Bait stations are always the tricky one of, is he checking it? Or, now, so we got that. We got your little tip on the Google Maps, right? We have your tip on letting the client know, hey, I'll go ahead and get everything done for you. You already talked to him. You did the interview for your service. I'll leave the tag on the door. You eliminate the second conversation. Now let's go ahead and brush up on the web removal. What are some tips you'd say you can give? Because I know you're a pretty fast web remover. What are some tips you can give?
Actually, one that I had given to me, not one that I created, is always move. You never stop moving. Yep. So when you are walking around a house, you are always trying to keep taking a step, whether it is slow or whether it's fast-paced. You never stop.
Yeah. Now, if you could hold that thought real quick, guys. That's also keeping you busy, and it makes you look busy. Let's face it, if you're doing really good and there's no webs, you want to look busy, or they'll be like, well, why am I paying the guy? So not only is keep moving like that and like having a constant motion going to save you time, it's going to look really good when it comes to your service because it looks like you're always busy. So sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no. That's a perfect tip because when they do see you, they see you on, constantly moving. Yeah. So now the other thing is you always want to de-web. So when I know some guys, that it looks like there are no webs there, those webs are typically clean webs. And so even though that you don't see anything down from on the ground, there's typically webs still up in the eaves. But the other thing that I do is between the time that I knock the door before they get there, sometimes I'll hurry and try to hit the door frame real quick.
As much as you can, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a quick kind of, hey, I'm just going to hurry and bust out the front area because I already have the web pole in my hand. Mm-hmm. I might as well do something. Or as I'm walking up to that front door, I'll hit a few things.
Yeah, always hit that light because if you hit that light, man, you're just, the the whole door entryway is taken care of. Now all you got to worry about is making your little circle around the house.
Yeah, which actually leads to the next thing. So after you talk to the person, you maybe do a quick little deweb on the front area.
Yeah.
Where do you start?
I always start on one end.
Okay.
And even if you might backtrack a little bit, it's just going to make your life 10 times easier.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
And especially if you're running into like those detached garages or like, things like that, it still keeps you in that fluid motion of, okay, I already got the whole other end done. Now I could get this little detached piece of the house done and continue my entire circle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And so when you do start, when he's saying he's doing that around the houses, he'll either go to the fence line that does not have the gate to get to the backyard, and then we'll go back around and then go all the way through the backyard, hit the fence line or whatever your company requires you to do. And then you're walking right out of that gate. Typically, you park right there. And so you're just making a short walk to throw that pole in the back of the truck.
Yep.
So now what do you do when it comes to spraying? Let's talk about the reel, because I know a lot of companies still use the reel.
They're still using the power rig.
Yep.
Now, just to let you guys know, we're in California, and there is some laws that kind of prohibit certain pesticides being used when it comes to the power rig, especially spraying above, your head. So what we've done, and hey, I know some people will be like, there's no way you're going to get a good enough service. We do, trust me. We use backpack sprayers, and I'm letting you know right now, if you have access to a backpack sprayer, it is going to make your life 10 times easier.
Well, and apart from that is the PSI requirements on some products in California, Bifin. Yeah. Anybody who uses bifenthrin, they have that on there. But also you can spray over your head with a backpack sprayer.
You can, yeah, because it's just a set PSI.
So if you're spraying those eaves, you can actually have a longer residual against wasps and spiders.
And it makes your next trip out there easier because, hey, not only are the wasps and spiders going to be gone, but when you're walking around the house, you're looking busy, there's no webs, you're going to get out of there with those webs within 5 minutes. So then you can go ahead and do the spraying.
Yeah, then you're not going to blow out a shoulder because you're...
Oh, yeah.
Because you're de-webbing all the time. So.
Oh, I know. Jeez, man. Yeah, that could wear on your shoulders big time, especially when you're using those heavy paint webbers, man.
Yeah.
I bought one from Home Depot when I lost my little light metal one. And
it's a killer.
That thing sure does wear on your shoulders.
Unless you want to be a bodybuilder, man. You throw on those, maybe a couple weights on the end.
Oh, goodness.
Swinging that thing around. Oh.
Right? Hey, that's not too bad of an idea, right?
Yeah.
If you run in like 10 accounts a day, why not?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
So after we'll jump on spraying. I know we kind of got off. So spraying. So
let's go ahead and let's say for the power reel. And then we'll go ahead and let you know the backpack sprayer.
You want me to take the power reel?
You take the power reel because you're a lot faster at it. Now look, maybe I wasn't the best power reel sprayer, but the backpack it's pretty top tier.
Well, so I'll tell you kind of the differences. So I've there's some positives and some negatives with it. I'll throw in my idea behind it. So the power rig, the great thing is you aren't carrying a heavy weight with you on your back.
Yeah.
And then you're also not pumping. So you're not blowing out your elbow.
Right.
Or shoulder while you're pumping and spraying. So that is the great thing about the power rig. Now, the negative part about the power rig is you do get some clients that are very picky with that hose rubbing up against the house or different pillars. Mm-hmm. The other thing is the hose gets caught on everything.
It does.
Oh my gosh.
Especially when you have my luck. Yeah, when you have my luck, if there could be a little root barely growing out of the ground, I'm gonna snag that thing.
Oh yeah. Well,
and you've witnessed it firsthand.
Yeah, pulling out a tree out of the ground with that thing. I mean,
right.
So and if you have a short temper, a hose is not what you should use because you start pulling on that thing.
Oh yeah, and this is for the new guys. Like if you're getting in a company and they're using the power reel, you better start exercising some patience.
Yeah. So real quick, when I'm with the power reel, is the first thing I do is I flip that thing on and I start, depending on how your power rig setup is I start pulling slack on the hose and I start collecting every 6 feet, every 10 feet into one hand. So there's giant loops through my hand. And then when I started the exact same place that I started when I did the de-webbing. So I'm going to one corner of the home, but actually while I'm walking up to that corner, I'm spraying the lawn. Depending on what licenses you have and what you're doing, that may be, you can do that. You may You might not be able to do that. So I'm treating the lawn as I'm going up to the side of the house, and then I'm treating the foundation of the home. Mm-hmm. And as I'm walking around, I'm doing the exact same layout of the house, and I'm slowly dropping hose.
And real quick, and when you say that, you mean the exact same route you took when you were webbing?
Yes. Yeah. And so I'm slowly dropping hose behind me, so I'm not constantly pulling on the reel, and I'm not constantly trying to pull that thing through certain stuff. So I'm easy drop. As you get better with the reel, you're going to understand, or as you get more comfortable with your route, you'll know houses and you'll see houses.
Yeah.
And you'll know how much to actually pull out. And so you'll go around the house, you'll treat everything, and then as you're walking back, so as you get to the furthest part in the backyard, you will start picking up your hose as you walk back.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get snags on anything.
No snagging.
Yep. You're going to prevent a lot of the stuff. And so by the time you get back to the truck, it's just an easy reel it back up and you're done.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's how we do it with the power rig.
Now let's just reiterate real quick. So if you are a company doing the power rig and you are a technician running a residential route and your go-to thing is the power rig, the method we just gave you guys, now keep in mind you're always moving. You're letting the client know you're going to leave the tag on the door, so you're limiting the second conversation. And, hey, on average houses, and I'm a slower worker. I like to work a little slower when I'm out there doing houses. That's going to take you about 17 minutes. I'd say 15 to 17 minutes doing that method. And I've done, I think, 22 in 7 hours.
Yeah.
Right? 7.5 hours.
Yep.
And it's still, it's like, and those are some pretty decent sized houses. And following those strategies, it just cuts your time down big time.
And I've done it both ways. Yeah. Since we're talking about the reel, I have done it where you are pulling on the reel while you're in the backyard.
Yep.
And that, honestly, you are just going to wear yourself out. It is just going to make everything harder, I promise you.
Oh, yeah.
So, when we say faster, just remember that does not mean you are working hard, guys.
Yeah.
You can make it fast and easy.
And a quick point is this isn't going to sacrifice your quality of work at all.
It should not. Yeah. It should not.
Yeah. I mean, hey, anyone could go and get out of a house in 10 minutes and it's going to be a crappy job, right? This is avoiding the crappy job while making sure you're keeping the best job possible for your clients.
Yeah. So someone who's using a backpack sprayer, what would you suggest that they can do?
Right. So now the backpack sprayer can be a little tricky. So our whole company essentially, I wouldn't say like transferred over to backpack sprayer, but we started mainly using the backpack sprayer. So here's the number one thing. If you are going to transition from power rig to backpack sprayer, be ready for the skeptics. The cool thing about the backpack sprayer is it's very controlled. It's very, concise where you're treating. And the good thing is it's going to be just as much as the power rig. The only thing the power rig has is the higher PSI. So what happens is that it gives you that feeling of, oh, look how much more he sprayed because it mists out. And so essentially that's one thing I had to run into with a couple clients here or there. And it's super easy. You say, hey, I'll tell you what, let's give it a try. If it doesn't work as good as the power rig, I'll be right back out here with the power rig. And guess what? They haven't called. So
and it's educating, if you're afraid to educate your clients, you probably shouldn't be in the industry.
No, yeah, you do have to sometimes drop the law.
Yeah, you do. So, and we did go through that transition where, a lot of people required power rig. Hey, I want that. And I had to go out there when I'm going to go do it. And they say, oh, well, that guy used a backpack sprayer. I want you to use the rig. Your rig works, right? Well, his rig worked too.
It did.
I just had to let him know, the customer know, hey, you know what? It's the same exact product. It's the same thing. One is just a backpack. Yeah. The other is just coming out of the back of the truck. So,
same exact product.
Yeah. And I do agree with you 100% when people say, nope, they might fight it, say it's different. No, it's not different, guys. It's the exact same thing.
It is.
You might get more pressure, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
It's the same treatment.
It's the same
and
treatment.
if you're spraying in a smart manner and you're spraying in an effective manner, you're going to get the same exact results, if not better. Because one, you're going to save cost on chemical. Because on that power rig, unless you have one of those gauges, you're going to be spraying a lot more than that backpack sprayer. So
Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and hitting the tank, you need to make sure at the beginning of the day that thing's full.
oh yeah, it's full. Yeah.
Because if you fill that up and you
Yeah.
get bad pressure at a house, it's going to take you 30 minutes to fill that thing
Oh,
up.
it is. Yeah, and the cool
So-
thing about the backpack sprayer is you could fill it up at every house, every other house, and it's literally not going to really cut into your time at all.
No, not at
Yeah.
all.
Now, unless your company has a policy against refilling at houses, which don't know why you would.
Hey, some
And
guys.
hey, if you are a company, here's what I tell them: hey, I'm going to borrow some water, right?
Yeah.
And I am literally going to put it right back to your house.
Yep. Oh, people love that. People love that.
Oh, yeah.
I've used it.
Oh yeah. Now when you and now it is a different story when you say I'm gonna borrow some water and you're filling up a 30, 50 gallon tank.
you
Then,
don't
you know,
let them know.
You don't want to let them know. Maybe it's 8 gallons I'm filling up, or
Yeah.
you don't let them know, right?
No.
So let's get back to the backpack sprayer. So once you get all that out the way of figuring out, okay, I could transfer to the backpack sprayer, or hey, I'm versatile. I could use either or. Here's the positives of the backpack sprayer. It's a lot faster. You throw on that backpack sprayer, majority of the time it's going to be already filled up because you could probably, if you have a 2.5 gallon backpack sprayer, you could get about 2 houses with that. 4 gallon, you could probably get four houses. All depends which size backpack sprayer you got. So when you're getting to a house, you're already filled up. You've already removed the webs, right? You've already talked to the client. You're going to drop the tag off after you're done with the backpack sprayer. So what's next? You just go and do your thing. You follow the same route you did when it came to the webs. If you could treat the yard, if your company has the license, you treat the yard, and it's going to take you no more than 6-7 minutes to get the whole house done when it comes to spraying. And that's doing a thorough job. Now that's, you're hitting the window seals, you're hitting the foundation, cracks and crevices, yard, you're hitting around the lights and things like that. So you're doing an excellent job, just as good as the power rig, and you don't have to worry about reeling up the hose. All you do is toss the backpack sprayer off, you fill out your tag, you put it on a door. Now here's a really good tip. So I was using my power rig to fill up my backpack sprayer.
Yeah, so that's already pre-mixed chemical
Yep.
going into the backpack sprayer, so you're not pulling out another, your gallon of whatever you're using, measuring it out, pouring it in, mixing it up. This is already pre-mixed product. It was already mixed at the beginning of the day or at the very end of the day before. It's ready to go. You're ready to go.
Yep. And the best part is even if, like, say you had 15 gallons left in your tank and you run out midday, you don't necessarily need to fill it up again because you could just fill up the backpack sprayer to save time.
And it's super fast to fill up.
Really. It's in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, the difference between 2 gallons and 30.
Oh, yeah.
So, you can fill that up really, really fast.
Yeah, and another tip, if you are using your power sprayer in the tank to fill up your backpack sprayer at accounts, here's going to save you some more time. Fill out your tag. If you don't already pre-write it, before you start your shift, fill out the tag for the house while it's filling up. It's going to take about a minute to fill up from the power rig. Go ahead and fill out your tag, write everything you did on there, and then when you got your backpack sprayer on, take that tag, drop it off on the door, and you literally can leave right when you're done spraying.
Yeah, honestly, that's a huge thing. It makes it really easy. So just keep all those tips in mind. So we'll do a real quick recap on the backpack sprayer. If it is already pre-filled, like we talked about, you're just pulling that off. You are following the same route as the de-webbing, and so you're hitting everything that you can and that's legal. And by the end, you're walking right back out right where the gate is. You should be parked right on the street, right out in front of the gate.
Yep.
So,
and here's another benefit that you said that about being parked.
Yeah.
Say there's no parking in front of the house. It doesn't matter with the backpack sprayer.
yes.
Now with the reel, it may be the worst enemy. You might end up having to throw your hazards on, parking in the middle of the street, looking terrible, unprofessional. With the backpack, that's fine. I'll park 2 houses down. No worries.
Okay, so now we talked about treating the outside. I'm going to put a little twist on this. We didn't talk about the inside of the home.
We didn't.
So what if you go to a door and they say, "Hey, I'm ready to leave. Can you treat the inside?"
So this is what I do essentially.
Okay.
I give them 2 options, and they're the only 2 options they get. Anything else, they're done for. And that's a joke.
Right,
but what I tell them is, okay, no worries, and always tell them yes. Don't clients sometimes could take things the wrong way. Everyone's ran into it. Always say, okay, yeah, even if it's caught off guard, even if you might not have time to treat the inside because you got time windows, you got 10,000 more accounts after that one. just say yeah. And if you know you can't do it, then, make sure you're communicating with your company, with your boss, saying, hey, if they need the inside done and I know I can't do it, can you schedule a callback? And, that's retaining your customer satisfaction, and it's everything like that. But if you could do it fast enough, and if you know they're ready, you could get out of there within 5 minutes.
Yeah, so we follow the same exact method on the outside of the house as the inside of the house.
Yeah.
So typically right when you walk in, depending on if you're right-handed, left-handed, it'll all depend on how you're comfortable, if you want to walk forward, if you want to walk backwards. Yeah. But so typically I will start on the right side of the door. So right when I walk in, I am spraying on the right side of the front door, and I'm following that wall all the way around.
Yep.
I hit a set of stairs. I follow those stairs up.
Yep.
And I just follow all the way around, all the way back down, right to the front door again. And then I'm walking right out. So it's super easy.
Quick. Yeah. And then if they're having an answer or anything like that, then all you got to do is when you're walking and hitting the baseboard, just raise your wand and hit the windowsill.
Absolutely.
If you're dealing with ants.
Yep. If you come to a kitchen and there's an island, I usually, right where I hit a corner of the island, I hurry and run around the island and start back up where I ended. Right
back on track.
Yeah.
So that's the method I'm doing it. So I didn't touch up on the two options I usually give the client. I say, this is what I tell them. This is what saves you time, because now they get to make the choice whether they're ready or not. Because last thing you want to do is say, okay, yeah, I'll do it right now, and you haven't done anything outside, and they're like, okay, yeah, give me 5 minutes. And now it's not enough time for you to complete your outside service, and you don't want to have to kind of try to hunt them down their house to say, okay, actually I'll do the outside first. What I say is I could definitely do it right now. If you can leave the house, I'll do it the first thing. Or if you need to get ready, I'll go ahead and get the whole outside done, and I'll come knocking when I'm all finished up. And that's going to save you a lot of time there too.
Oh yeah, that gets them out of the house, or if it gives them at least 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
For you to do the outside of the home, and then you're ready to go.
And
with
you still
the
might be waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, if your B&G isn't already pre-filled,
that's your time to do it.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be. If you're not going to be spraying houses or interior houses, it should not be filled. But definitely take that time to hurry and fill that up.
Right.
Get that going.
Now,
so
real
you're
quick,
ready to go.
For people who don't have B&Gs, your hand can sprayer.
Yeah, you're right. Yep,
Yeah.
There's a lot of brands out there.
I'm sure there's some stingy companies with little plastic ones out there.
Yeah, so your hand can, yes.
Yeah.
You want to use your hand can.
Now, that's not me correcting you.
No. Hey, that's fine.
Yeah, we're buddies here, right?
You can correct.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just making sure, you're on your thing. I'm on my thing.
Well, I don't even know what other brands are out there, to be honest with you. Like Viking, I think is
plastic one. I don't know. I'm sure that's their name. Their company's Plastic One.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If not, we should look into that.
Yeah. Now, so we touched up on interior. So essentially, yes, it is going from one point of the front door to the other. And always remember, you got to give those clients those two options. Remember, you're the professional. Okay, that's what they're going to see you as. Maybe you are a Joe Blow or whatever. It doesn't matter. The client sees you as the professional. And at times, if you're doing a route long enough, they'll see you as their friend and the professional. So give them the options, I'm not saying you force them into options, but it's super easy. It's okay. Hey, are you ready to go right now? I could do it right now. If not, let me go ahead and take care of the outside, and then I'll get the inside done.
Oh yeah. Well, and there's a few other tips that I'm going to hurry and throw in there real quick. So if you're using the backpack sprayer, something that I would do is I would actually, if they have bait stations, some clients do. Some clients don't.
I did want to touch up the bait station thing.
I will carry, because usually you'll have a key on your key ring. Right. So I'm going to carry the bait station in one hand, whether it's the hand that's pumping or the other hand. So by the time I hit the bait station, I'm kneeling down. I'll pop off my gloves real quick, open it up, throw the gloves back on, fill up the bait station. Yeah. And then I'm good to go. I don't have to go back to my truck.
Oh, you mean the bait bucket?
The bait, yes.
Yeah, you call it bait station. I'm like, okay,
sorry.
I see where you're going.
The bait bucket, my bad. Yeah, so the bait bucket, filling it up with whatever product you're using for rodents. Yeah. So now there is another baiting method that you might want to hit on.
And you throw it in the yard.
Yep. So let's hear it.
No, that's not what you do.
No, the Niban.
Niban. Oh, no, I was talking about like rat poison. I was trying to make a funny joke. Oh, yeah. No. So yeah, if you're baiting for
throwing it in the yard,
I actually did it just recently in the morning. I show up. There's no client at the house. And
started chucking it in the lawn.
Yeah, and I started throwing rat poison all over the place. I didn't do that.
You did not do that.
I did not do that.
Don't take that.
Ag department, if you're listening, and I know you are.
They hear everything.
I didn't do it.
I did.
My lawyer will contact your lawyer.
You're gonna have like black vehicles falling behind you,
I know.
tinted windows.
Yeah, and they're gonna have like little camcorders poking out the window.
Yeah, some like big, huge, bulky dude in a suit walking like a little chihuahua.
Yeah, and he'll say, "Hey," he's like, "It came to my attention that you've done something illegal." Anyways, let's get back on track here. No, so yeah, if you have more of the solid baits, Niban, I love that product. I talked to one of their guys at Pest World in San Diego, and I even told him, I said, "Hey, I love your stuff because it works, man." I use Niban in apartments and things like that, and it knocks down outdoor cockroaches because we here in California, we're dealing with an invasion of Turkestan cockroaches, and if you don't know what they are, they're pretty much like an oriental cockroach, and they're just really taking over. So say if you need to do a little bit extra for a client, now if they have a ton of ants or if they're dealing with outdoor roaches, then and maybe the spray isn't going to be enough, but I do need a spray, you could bait with, the backpack sprayer, or you could bait right before you're webbing, or, and methods like that to where you're hitting their whole soft ground perimeter, the grass, the foliage, everything like that. And it's still not sacrificing much time because since you've already saved so much time, you have time to spare essentially to get that extra oomph in, to get that extra nail in the coffin for any pest around your client's home.
Yeah, definitely. And even on the inside, we have 2 hands, guys. We do. One is to hold the actual hand can itself and to spray, but bring in, this is this little secret of the trade. Yeah. Bring in sticky traps, guys. You can set those up. Yeah, sticky traps are a savior. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah. In our experience here, we have set up sticky traps in garages, inside the home, in all sorts of places. Everyone says, "Oh, when a customer sees it, they freak out. They have bugs." It is the exact opposite.
It's all about education.
It is. Yeah. You educate them on what you're doing, why you're setting up the traps, how they can do it themselves, so you can leave a few extra.
Right.
And if they start catching bugs, they love it.
Yeah.
They love it.
Oh, no.
There's never been a negative from it.
Here's the secret, and we're going to have a whole episode on it, actually.
Okay.
May or may not be endorsing a product we may eventually create. It's the sticky trap. Stay tuned.
Hey.
Anyways, no, but seriously, guys, it's all about how you approach the situation when it comes to sticky traps. Now, here's the negative that some older technicians may have that I've run into when I was getting trained by a guy with 39 years experience. He said, well, the whole point of us is to get rid of the bugs. So if we're spraying and they see bugs in their sticky trap, then we're not getting rid of anything. That's a lie. This is what you got to tell your client. And a lot of times I hand the client the sticky traps, and they set it up themselves, and now it's like we're a part of a team. I say, hey, set this up in your garage. I'll take care of the outside. And if they say, oh, and I've maybe once ever out of the millions of sticky traps I've handed out, a client said, oh, well, I guess it's not working. I say, oh, no, they're more than likely going to be dead to the product that was put down. This is just going to control where they die.
Yeah, and you know what? This is for the business owners out there as well. We started doing the sticky traps, and this is the amazing thing that happened is we actually sent a technician just to put sticky traps underneath their mat so that the customer could set them up. Not a lot of people understand, the huge help behind that, but that prevents, if a guy's already in the area, he has sticky traps on his truck.
You're out there in 30 seconds.
Yeah. And it's done. And you just did a callback in literally a fraction of the time.
And it eliminates the 10-minute having to spray the garage and the interior, everything.
Absolutely. Yep. So I'm telling you, that is a huge way to work faster, not harder.
And they're dirt
cheap.
Do it. Yeah.
And yes, for the owners, yes, if you do not use sticky traps, get them.
Yep.
There's a bunch of different brands out there. There's ones that come in sheets of 3.
The Catchmaster ones. It's 3 on one sheet. All you got to do is hand a client one sheet.
We're not getting paid by Catchmaster.
We're
just
not?
so you know.
No, okay.
But they better.
They better
send something.
Hey, Catchmaster, here's a free shout out.
Yeah, right. No, but seriously, they are actually really good traps. They work very well. They're insect monitors. That's what they're called.
Yeah, and you're eliminating pesticides. So it's a win-win. No matter how you look at it, there's a lot more positive than negative using sticky traps.
Yeah, even if animals get caught on them, just so you know, quick tip.
They're not toxic.
Oil and not
oil,
toxic.
Not toxic, oil.
Yep.
That's
oil,
what I tell everyone.
Yeah, oil
And,
takes
and
it right
here's
off.
another tip. And listen, we're going to have a whole episode on, sticky traps. Huh?
On tips?
Possibly.
We just keep throwing them out there.
Well, there's a lot of tips. This is what this podcast is for.
It is.
And this is for you technicians out there.
Yeah.
Here's another quick tip. Actually, you know what? Let's save that here's a cliffhanger. Let's save that for the sticky trap episode, huh?
Okay. We can do that.
I say we are connoisseurs of sticky traps.
We have. Yeah, we're probably buying more than anybody else.
Yeah, we about half our budget goes to sticky traps actually. And I mean, they work great. But let's get back to the topic, which is work faster, not harder. And we just spent a long time on sticky traps. But look, this is what you're here for. You're here to learn. Oh, so yeah. Let's go ahead and let's break it down for them. Let's do something fun. We'll tag team it, right?
Okay, go.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say, all right, I show up, right? I check out my notes while leaving the truck. I just get to the client's house, knock on the door.
Wait. You grab the web pole first, right?
Oh, well, okay. I grabbed the web pole.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Do you want me to say I woke up and I got out of bed?
Well,
I took a shower.
How I normally do it is I sleep with my boots on.
In work uniform?
Yes. Yeah. Pre-washed. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been pre-washed.
And I eat breakfast and then I get in the truck and
I eat breakfast as I'm driving.
Okay.
Which is not recommended.
And yeah, that's not safe. And then you text and call while driving. Okay. Anyways, so let's restart. Okay. I apologize if I didn't say grab the web pole. Okay, go again. Okay, you pull up to your house. You clock into the account.
Yeah.
You look at the notes. Oh, there's bait stations here. This scenario has a bait station.
Yeah.
Okay. This scenario isn't going to have interior treatment, just so you know, so we could show how effective our method is. I get out of my vehicle with my left foot. Okay.
A little too in depth.
Oh, okay,
too in depth. Because you could be right-footed. So
I grab the if you're driving.
Foot.
Well, actually, if you are driving in a different country. Anyways, I grab my web pole. I go up to the house. You knock on the door. Now I knock on the door, ring the bell at the same time. You can knock, wait a little bit, ring the bell, the doorbell. Now, while you're waiting for the client to get to the door, hit the whole entryway. Hit around the door, hit around the window, hit around the light. If it's one of the lights that's on the ceiling, hit the ceiling light. And there you go. You already have a good chunk of the house done. Now, take away the weapon.
Yep. If they come to the door, it's a quick, it's a quick conversation. How's it going? What have you seen? How can we help you? What can I take care of? What are you seeing so I can take care of it? And then also explain at the very end, okay, great, I'll get it all done. I'm going to leave the tag on the door when I finish. I start at the corner of the house that's opposite of the gate. So wherever the gate is, I'm going to the opposite side. Once I get to that corner, then I start hitting all the eaves. I'm hitting the window frames, all the door frames, around the lights, anything like that, all the way around the home. And then I hit along the fence line leading back out to the truck. So that is going to the backyard, then back out to the truck.
Great. And I'll take over spraying.
Yep.
Now, my scenario, then I say, oh, why did my alter ego, which is D, why didn't he check the bait station while he was webbing? So it's fine. You forgot, right? And that's why I have a lot more 5-star reviews than you.
There you go.
So
it happens.
And I'm just joking. I don't want to sound like a conceited little rodent guy or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, they're gonna hit you for that. It's all right.
It's fine. And because these are great tips. So now what I do is I'm carrying my bait bucket. I have my key to the trap ready, and I toss my backpack sprayer on. I've already talked to the client. My backpack sprayer was already full from the previous account, whatever it is. Now I go and I start exactly where I started with the webbing. I go all the way to the furthest point of the gate, and I work my way around. If you're treating yards, then go ahead and hit the yard. And once you get to the bait station, all you got to do is, take your gloves off if you have to. Open up the bait station. Obviously, you'd have to put the gloves back on when you're putting the poison in the box. If it needs to be refilled, refill it. Once you're done, great. Go ahead and finish hitting the rest of the house. And then once you hit the whole exterior of the home, do the same thing you did with the webbing. Don't necessarily spray into the neighbors' yards or anything like that, but just hit the yard all the way out. Now, if you're not hitting the yard, go ahead and just hit the, where the cement ends to the yard and hit all those cracks and crevices leading all the way around the house, all the way back out to your truck.
Yeah. And then when you are finished and you're putting away the backpack sprayer, another quick tip, remember guys, you can fill that backpack sprayer up if you have a tank, or if you want to fill it up on that property before you get to the next one, fill it up while you're filling out that tag. With us, it's a little bit easier with the power rig. We can fill up that backpack sprayer at the same time. We fill out the tag real quick. And so then when we go and throw that tag on the door, we're ready to go. We just have to hop in, do the notes, and then leave. Now, I want to throw it out there. We are not using paper. Okay.
We're not actually. We didn't even put that.
No, I didn't even think about it.
We don't live under a rock. Right?
No. Guys, if you're an owner, you're listening, please step away from paper. It's going to save you so much in time, so much in costs. And there's actually systems out there that are very, very inexpensive. I'll let you do the research on your own on which ones works for your company. We found one that works for us. But yeah, we're not filling out paper. It's all on it's all on an app. So we're just going through, the technician's putting in the chemicals, what he's used, what he did. And then he hits done, complete. And when it's done, the client gets an email, everything's all finished, and he's on to the next one that fast.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And hey, technicians, that's the step-by-step for you there. It's, hey, work faster, not harder, and you're not sacrificing any quality of work at all when it comes to that. So just keep it in mind. And hey, that's what we're here for. Stay tuned for future episodes because we're just going to be giving a ton of advice out there for everyone.
Absolutely. And if you guys have any questions about this episode, feel free, to contact us, to reach out to us, ask us any questions, ask us to go in depth. If you'd like us to talk to your team, we're here to help. We definitely would love for any of you to reach out to us and let us know what's going on.
Hey guys, this is Anthony, and here's a quick reminder. We want to hear from you, whether you're a technician, owner, or operator. We want to hear your stories, whether it's a horror story on the field, a funny story with the client, or just something straight up crazy or weird you've seen. And how can you do this, you ask? Well, our email is dnapestpodcast@gmail.com. That's DANDA pestpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us at Twitter and direct message us there at DNA Pest Podcast. That is D, the letter N, A, Pest Podcast. Follow us on Twitter. Or you can reach out directly through our website at dnapodcast.com. That's DANDA podcast.com. We want to hear from you, so let's hear it.